The 2023 Iceland Glacier Crevasse Plunge. On March 17, 2023, Emily Hargreaves, 28, a London graphic designer, and her husband James, 28, a software engineer, joined a budget Instagram glacier walk on Solheimajökull, an outlet tongue of Mýrdalsjökull in southern Iceland. The couple, on a delayed honeymoon, paid $89 each for a 3-hour tour with Arctic Adventures, rated 48 stars online. Their guide, 23-year-old local student Bertha Johnsdottir, carried one ice axe and a 30-meter static rope for 14 clients. None had prior glacier experience. At 11:42 a.m., under a flat gray sky and 6 degrees C, the group reached a roped-off photo zone 12 kilometers up the glacier. Emily, wearing rented crampons over hiking boots, stepped past the orange caution tape to capture a selfie with James against a turquoise moulin. The snow bridge, only 40 centimeters thick over a 25-meter crevasse, collapsed at 11:47:03 a.m., time-stamped on James's iPhone video. Emily dropped vertically, arms windmilling, screaming James twice before impact. The fall shattered her pelvis on a submerged ice ledge 18 meters down. Her right femur snapped audibly on GoPro audio recovered later. James lunged forward. Berta yanked him back by his jacket as the crevasse lips spiderwebbed. Emily's headlamp, clipped to her beanie for cool shots, stayed on, casting a blue beam upward. Her final words, captured on James's phone, pressed against the ice wall. "I can't feel my legs. Tell Mom I love her." The beam flickered for 11 minutes, then fixed as her neck snapped forward in hypothermic seizure. Rescue call logged at 11:51 a.m. Icelandic search and rescue. ICSAR helicopter TFGRO lifted off Vik at 12:14 p.m. but was grounded 2 kilometers short by 70-kilometer katabatic winds. A ground team of 9 reached the site at 14:06 p.m. with a drill rig and heated probe. They lowered a GoPro on fishing line at 16:33 p.m., found Emily upright in a 12-meter wide ice chimney, knees bent, arms pinned, eyes open, phone flashlight still glowing on 3% battery. Core temp 172 dg. Extrication began at 09:10 a.m. March 19th. After 42 hours, her body emerged at 10:27 a.m. encased in a thin ice shell, lips blue, eyelashes fringed with hoarfrost. Autopsy confirmed death by blunt force trauma, hypothermia, and compressive asphyxia. Lungs collapsed by 200 k's of ice above her chest. Arctic Adventures fined 42 million ISK for inadequate risk assessment. The crevasse, later measured 28 meters deep, was mapped and filled with warning signs. James flew home with Emily's frozen phone. The last photo shows them smiling at 11:46:55 a.m., 8 seconds before the fall. The 1996 Everest Icefall Avalanche. In May 1996, 8 climbers died during a sudden Everest Icefall avalanche during a guided summit push. Rob Hall stayed on the south summit radioing base camp until hypoxia froze him solid at 8,748 meters. The 2014 Annapurna blizzard trapped 13 trekkers and 3 guides perished in an October 2014 Annapurna blizzard at 3,200 miles. Israeli survivor Yaakov Megreli dug out after 40 hours buried in snow, fingers black from frostbite. The 1977 Yosemite Half Dome lightning strike. 2 hikers died instantly on Yosemite's Half Dome cables in July 1977 when lightning struck the metal. Survivor Jeff Batten clung to rock, hair singed, heart stopped twice before CPR revived him. The 2021 Utah Slot Canyon flash flood. 6 canyoneers drowned in Keyhole Canyon, Utah, September 2021, when a 30-foot wall of water roared through the narrow slot. Only 1 body recovered intact after 11 days of searching. The 2019 New Zealand White Island eruption. 22 tourists died on Wakari volcano in December 2019 when it erupted mid-hike. Survivor Jesse Langford watched his parents and sister burn alive in 700 degrees C ash clouds. The 1993 Arizona flash flood sweep. On July 12, 1993, 11 European tourists, mostly French and German backpackers in their 20s, entered Lower Antelope Canyon near Page, Arizona, for a guided sunset photo shoot despite monsoon warnings. At 2:17 p.m., a 50-foot wall of red water from a distant thunderstorm roared through the 3-foot wide slot. Guide David Whitmore, 28, clung to a ledge 14 hours, watching bodies spin past like dolls, his screams drowned by the roar. The 2015 Colorado grizzly mauling Yellowstone seasonal worker Lance Crosby, 63, from Illinois, hiked solo off-trail near Elephant Back Loop on August 6, 2015, to photograph wildflowers for his wife. A 340 Elb Sow grizzly with 2 cubs ambushed him at 11:42 a.m. Rangers followed drag marks 40 yards to his half-eaten torso under pine needles. GoPro still recording 37 minutes of crunching bones and growls. The 2006 Australian crocodile ambush. Carrie McLaughlin, 37, a Darwin nurse celebrating her birthday, waded waist-deep into Kakadoo's East Alligator River at dusk on March 4, 2006, to cool off after a day of birdwatching. A 15-feet saltwater croc lunged from the murk. Death rolled her in 4 seconds. Rangers shot the beast 2 days later. Inside, her Timex watch still ticking, left boot, and a femur with tooth gouges. The 2020 Oregon Hypothermia Night 3 Portland friends Jake, 29, Mia, 27, and Ethan, 31, attempted a winter loop in Oregon's Wallowa Mountains on December 19, 2020, ignoring a dangerous avalanche forecast. A wrong turn in whiteout left them 12 miles off trail. Rescuers found them December 22nd, huddled in a bivy sack at 18 degrees C, iced together like statues, fingers interlocked, frostbite black to the elbows. The 2018 Patagonia Avalanche burial Argentine climbers Tomas Tomi Garcia, 34, and Lucia Fernandez, 31, a married couple from Bariloche, triggered a 200-meter slab avalanche while ascending Cerro Torres compressor route on January 14, 2018. Lucia was buried 3-meter deep. Tomas dug 4 hours with an ice axe until his hands bled, found her blue, lips frozen mid-scream. Te amo, helmet cracked, eyes open to the sky. The 2022 Grand Canyon heatstroke ordeal. On July 23, 2022, Sarah Thompson, 41, a Phoenix teacher on summer break, hiked rim to river on Bright Angel Trail with only 1 liter of water and 118 degrees of heat. At 3:14 p.m., she collapsed 2 miles from the river. Rangers airlifted her at 107 degrees core temp. Kidneys failed mid-flight, heart stopped over Phantom Ranch, body rigid in the stretcher. The 2019 Alaska Bear Cache horror Gene Moe, 69, a retired fisherman, camped solo on Admiralty Island's Pack Creek in June 2019, ignoring bear closure signs. A 600-old brown bear dragged him screaming from his tent at 2:07 a.m. Searchers found his sleeping bag 300 yards away, half buried under salmon berries, only scalp, jawbone, and a wedding ring left in the cache. The 2021 Zion Narrows drowning while 5 friends from Las Vegas entered Zion's Narrows on August 11, 2021, despite flash flood warnings. At 4:42 p.m., a 40-foot brown wave slammed the 16-foot wide canyon. 4 drowned instantly, bodies pinned under boulders. Survivor clung to a log. 6 hours, watching best friend's GoPro spin downstream, still recording. The 2017 Denali Frostbite Amputation Death solo climber Michael Liu, 35, summited Denali on May 29, 2017, but lost both gloves descending the Autobahn. At 17,200 feet camp, frostbite blackened all fingers and toes in 45 degree fifth wind. He radioed "Can't feel hands" at 11:03 p.m. Helicopter arrived 14 hours later to a frozen corpse, mittens stuffed in mouth for warmth. The 2021 Gila Wilderness Starvation Ordeal. On October 9, 2021, Daniel Dan Kowalski, 52, a Chicago accountant and self-styled survivalist, entered New Mexico's Gila Wilderness alone with a 40-year-old topographic map, a .38 revolver, and 3 days of beef jerky, aiming to live off the land for a month. He ignored the rangers' warning about drought-shriveled creeks. By day 12, lost 18 miles off trail in the Middle Fork Canyon. He drank from a green cattle tank, contracted giardia. Diarrhea emptied him 14 times daily. He ate pine bark and ants. On day 19, October 27th, a hiker found his emaciated body curled fetal under a juniper. 61 thalabs lost. Revolver with 1 round fired into the dirt beside a carved note. Water lied. Autopsy 1,100 ml of black fluid in stomach. Death by dehydration and electrolyte collapse. The 2014 Torres del Paine lightning double strike. On February 16, 2014, Camila Ortiz, 26, a Santiago pediatric nurse, and Mateo Vargas, 28, a civil engineer, arrived at Chile's Torres del Paine National Park for their honeymoon backpack after a 3-day bus from Puerto Natales. They paid 15,000 CLP each for a 5-day W-Trek permit, pitched their 3-season MSR Hubba Hubba tent, fiberglass poles, sil nylon fly. At 1947, on the wind-scoured steppe, 18 km west of Campamento Torres, elevation 780 m. Despite CONAF Ranger Pablo Huenchumil's radioed warning at 18:30 of an incoming Tormenta Electrica Aislada. At 03:12 a.m. February 17th, a rogue summer supercell, unforecast due to a broken Doppler at Punta Arenas, unleashed 40-knot gusts and marble-sized grapple. The couple's aluminum trekking poles, left propped outside for quick morning photos, acted as lightning rods. At 03:14:02 a.m., time stamped on Mateo's Casio watch later recovered, a 42 kA positive leader struck the taller pole 12 from the tent. Current flashed over wet grass, entered through the fiberglass vestibule pole, vaporized the sill nylon fly in a 1 to 800 degrees plasma ball, and side flashed both occupants. Camilla, sleeping on the left, took the full ground current. Her heart exploded into pink froth. Autopsy later found 400 ml of blood in the pericardial sac, exit wounds charred through both heels. Mateo, on the right, absorbed a 12 kA side flash. His heart fibrillated but restarted briefly. He remained conscious for 47 seconds, skin erupting in fractal Lichtenberg figures, screaming, "Kami, no!" until a second 38 kA bolt at 03:14:38 a.m., recorded by CONAF seismograph as a 21 tremor, struck the same pole, stopping his heart permanently. The tent poles glowed cherry red for 11 seconds. Synthetic sleeping bags melted into a fused cocoon around their bodies. At 06:22 a.m., French trekkers 400 meters away smelled ozone and burning nylon, radioed CONAF post at Guarderia Torres and channel 142525 MHz. Ranger Huenchumil and medic Jose Pepe Cardenas arrived on foot at 06:58 a.m. with a defibrillator and oxygen, found the couple welded together by molten polyester, wedding rings fused to finger bones, Camilla's engagement diamond cracked by heat. Mateo's watch stopped at 03:14:38. Rescue helicopter H-41 from Puerto Natales scrambled at 07:15 a.m. but was grounded by 60-knot rotor winds until 09:40 a.m. Ground team cut the charred mass free with a reciprocating saw, loaded bodies into litter baskets at 10:27 a.m. Autopsies in Punta Arenas confirmed death by electrocution and thermal injury. Camilla's core temp estimated 62 degrees at impact. CONAF closed the step campsite permanently. A granite memorial now reads, Amor más fuerte que el rayo.